Hey, welcome to Film versus Movie, the podcast where we debate the cinema you hate. I'm your co-host, Belton DeLaine-Facey.
And my name's Chris Shurr.
And on this podcast, we watch the films that have been slandered, desecrated, and dumped into an electric eel tank by public opinion. And one of us tells you why it's actually pretty good.
And the other one's going to tell you why it's a steaming pile of shit.
And today, we are debating The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the second one in the series that starred Andrew Garfield in the main role.
Handsome Spider-Man. Well, I guess Tom Holland's handsome too, but like Andrew Garfield's got that dreamy look.
He's one of those people where I feel like he just has natural charisma.
He would be considered beautiful across a lot of generations. I think you'd have to go back to like the 40s before he wouldn't be considered beautiful. Then they'd be like, he's a little feminine looking.
Go back far enough, they'll just be like, there's something about his nose that makes him look like Irish or something.
Yeah. But like 60s all the way to current day, he could probably be an actor just on looks alone.
All right,
I'd fuck him. All right, I swear that was the last one.
This is the second movie in the Spider-Man series that was directed by Mark Webb, which part of me feels like his pitch for directing these movies was his last name.
Yeah, he's like, I am Mark Webb. A lot of people call me Spider-Man. They go like, oh, it's the Spider-Man.
Honestly, good for him. Could you imagine your last name being Webb? You were interviewed to direct a Spider-Man movie and then you didn't get it?
They chose someone with the last name Fly. That'd be brutal. He failed on Spider-Man though. He wasn't Webb enough.
I mean, he made two movies. We'll get into this later, but I feel like a lot of the flaws were also studio decisions.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. You're the studio expert.
Yeah. All right. Well, now diving into the plot line, we open on Peter Parker's parents leaving the country, and on their plane ride out, they send out these secret lab findings from Oscorp, and they are attacked by an assassin.
I just want to throw this story in there. Belton and I watched this movie and our next movie together. And Belton's roommate came in during that scene and he's like, oh, is this Olympus Has Fallen? And we had just watched Olympus Has Fallen and we're like, no, this is Spider-Man. He's like, oh, I thought the previous one was Spider-Man. And he had watched like 45 minutes. Sorry, I don't mean to poke too much fun, but it was very funny.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think we were both like, okay, you saw the attack on the White House. Like, you saw no Spider-Man. What led you to believe it was Spider-Man? He was like, just the vibe.
Gerard Butler's got a very much Peter Parker vibe to him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Gerard Butler just feels like he should be a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, that'd work pretty well. I don't know enough Spider-Man. He could be Rhino.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think he could be a good Rhino.
If it weren't for the fact that Michael Keaton did such a perfect job, I think he could be Vulture.
I don't see Vulture as much.
Okay.
All right. But anyway, on to the plot. Now we're back in present day. Spider-Man is capturing a criminal who's stealing a truck of plutonium. And while doing so, he saves a man who works for Oscorp named Max. And while that's going on, Peter Parker's high school graduation is happening. Gwen Stacy gives a speech, which he misses. He comes to the graduation right on time for his name to be called. And by the way, he shows up in shorts, Converses under his graduation gown, and just makes out with Gwen on stage while grabbing his diploma.
Okay, the only issue with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is he's just too cool. He's way too cool. Yeah, that's like, I don't know, it's a little too cool for Spider-Man.
Honestly, I feel like it's something that works in modern day because, I mean, if you watch movies from the 80s, everyone's separated into nerds and jocks. And I feel like by the time we went to high school, at least at my school, it didn't feel like everyone fit so cleanly into those stereotypes. I mean, yeah, you had the smart kids, you had the athletes, but there was more crossover.
I just like, I think the issue is in my head is like Spider-Man's supposed to be about someone truly powerless coming into all this power and then coping with that, especially when you're seeing him as a teenager. But we're getting way off track.
Yeah, I also feel like that's a running joke in the Spider-Man community online. It's like Spider-Man fans want Peter Parker to be miserable. Because leading up to the most recent Tom Holland movie that's about to come out, a lot of people saw the trailer and just like, wait, Spider-Man's single, broke, and sad. We are back, baby.
No aunt, no uncle, nothing. He's alone. He's just got the Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, like, with all his antics on stage at graduation, it's like, oh, if I pulled that, my mom would beat my ass.
It's the benefit of being an orphan, Belton. They get to have all the fun.
While this is going on, Peter is haunted by the fact in the previous movie, Gwen's dad used his dying breath to just tell him as Spider-Man, keep Gwen out of it. And so that guilt builds up in him. So he and Gwen break up.
Is that fucked up? Like, the dad was right in the end, but like, is it fucked up to do that to a teenager? It almost would have worked out. I don't think she would have died if he hadn't done that.
Yeah, I feel that's hard because I do feel like part of that was her going. It's just like, oh, this is because of what my dad said. I don't know. I feel like if you're a teenager and you find out your dad's last words was telling your boyfriend to fuck off, you'd also be like, you know what, fuck you, dad.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like such a wrench. It's like, you know how like parents, when their kid dies, a lot of the time they break up just because it's too hard to overcome it.
Yeah.
That seems like it's just too hard to overcome it. And they wouldn't even fall back towards each other. That's just so crazy.
Yeah. Honestly, I do understand like tying in like that grief and guilt into their relationship. It feels weird that that's his last thing he said on Earth.
Not even like, tell Gwen I love her. Tell Gwen to stay the fuck away from you. Like,
also, Gwen has two brothers. He did not have a message for either one of them.
Yeah. Wait, okay. This was driving. In the first movie, are him and Peter Parker like close? Or was it purely they ran into each other during the investigation?
It was something where, you know, they met each other as Peter Parker and, you know, Captain Stacy. He didn't know Peter Parker was Spider-Man. And then while he's pursuing Spider-Man, he finds out Spider-Man is Peter. And then they have the final battle.
Gotcha.
Well, speaking of dead dads, Harry Osborn, who like is just freshly introduced to the series, he meets his dying father, Norman, who tells him about a disease that he passed down to Harry and will kill him. And now back to Max, who was saved. He gets into a lab accident at Oscorp and emerges as Electro. And not understanding his power, he goes into Times Square. And when Spider-Man tries to calm him down, he gets upset. Spider-Man doesn't remember him and accidentally goes on a rampage.
Well, he did remember him. That was...
Yeah, but he didn't remember his name off the bat.
Yeah, Electro he was a little extra.
Yeah.
His expectation... Oh, admittedly, everyone does treat him like he's a fucking cancer, though. Everyone's like, fuck you, Max. Like, people are just mean to him on the spot. Yeah,
because I kind of get that, like, Spider-Man is the one person who was nice to him in however long. But I don't know, man. Get a hobby, join a club. Like, this was a parasocial relationship before the current post-COVID social media.
You think that if Max was alive today, he would be like, Justin Bieber is my friend?
Oh, he would for sure have a parasocial relationship with some influencer.
Intense. Did they have smartphones in that movie?
I feel like they did. I remember seeing Blackberries.
Okay. It was that time frame.
Yeah, where Blackberries were still in. I'm pretty sure they were just easier to license for movies. And then it got to a point where studios were like, no one's going to believe this character has a Blackberry. Get an iPhone. Unless they're a villain, which we found out from Rian Johnson. Yeah, Oscorp takes Max into custody, and then Peter meets up with Harry and consoles him after Norman Osborn's death, as Harry suddenly took over Oscorp after having a little relation with his dad. And Harry asks Peter to ask Spider-Man for his blood, because at this point, Peter is selling pictures of Spider-Man to the Daily Bugle. So Harry's like, oh, you know how to get in touch with that guy. And Harry found out that Oscorp had some secret project going on, and Venom is the key to saving his life. Eventually, Peter, as Spider-Man, shows up to Harry's place and refuses to give him his blood, telling him like, oh, it could change you for the worse and make you into a monster. And he's like, Harry, it could kill you. And Harry just goes, I'm already dying, which valid.
Yeah. I think he should have been like, I'll give you the blood, but if you ever try and become a soldier, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'll give you the blood, but I have to handicap you from the neck down.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I would say Peter saying you could become a monster would be crazy if it weren't for the first movie, because like Dr. Connors turns into lizards and he's like, I'm going to turn everyone into a lizard. And that's the whole plan.
It's like the dinosaur guy where he has the power to change reality. And then he's just like, I want everyone to be dinosaurs. You know, you could do so much more.
Yeah, it's almost like, I'm not sure if you saw this old Funny or Die sketch of Captain Planet starring Don Cheadle, where he's just like, everyone's a tree now. That's what it felt like. Back to Peter, he finally goes through his dad's briefcase and discovers this whole lab underneath a subway station, and discovers the radioactive spider Harry's been trying to get a cure from is only compatible with their DNA. Harry discovers the Oscorp board is pinning Max's accident on him to oust him from the company and save their skins, because Max's accident is a whole OSHA violation.
Yeah. He climbed up onto a railing over a tank of electric eels, got on one foot, kicked the other foot out to the wall like he was Alex Honnold on Free Rider, and then started fiddling with like a highly electric conduit or something.
Yeah, and before that, he called the electric guy in the building, and he's like, "Hey, can you shut off power in this room?" And he was like, "No, I'm already gone." Which also, Max was working overtime, probably unpaid.
Max should have just been like, "All right, well, it doesn't happen today." But you know, that's like not his character.
Yeah, Gen Z hadn't invented quiet quitting yet. Meanwhile, back to Peter and Gwen's relationship. Gwen gets a scholarship to Oxford and tells Peter, and Peter decides he's going to go with her. But Harry breaks out Max, who now goes by Electro. So this way, Harry can get access to the secret project with the Spider Venom, and Max can take over the electric grid he designed that no one gave him credit for. And so he shuts the city's power off. Spider-Man and Gwen go to the big power grid to fight him and turn it back on. Then Harry, who took the Venom, arrives as the Green Goblin. They don't actually call him that in the movie, but they make it as close as possible.
He's on the hoverboard. He's got the suit. He's going,
yeah, they gave him earpieces that look like the goblin ears.
He's like Spider-Man. Like, I swear he started doing a Willem Dafoe impression. Once he like flew in, I was like, oh, he's doing Willem Dafoe. Like,
yeah, but Harry wants revenge for Spider-Man not giving him his blood, which again, valid. In the ensuing battle, Gwen dies, and Spider-Man takes a hiatus due to grief, and the movie ends with the criminal from the beginning coming back as the Rhino, and Spider-Man stepping in to save the city.
You remember when they remade that kid with the trust fund remade this movie essentially? Like way worse. We covered it for this podcast.
Oh, yeah. All right. So this movie was directed by Mark Webb. He directed the previous film in the franchise. Outside of the Spider-Man movies, he's best known for directing 500 Days of Summer. And he also directed the recent Snow White live action remake for Disney.
Oh man, he's not having.
Yeah, I mean, he's also like directed plenty of TV show episodes, including a lot for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and plenty of music videos, which he's directed some for pretty big bands and songs. He directed 21 Guns by Green Day, Gives You Hell by All American Rejects, and Clumsy by Fergie.
Oh shit! Okay.
This film was written by the writing team of Alex Kurtzman and Robert Orsi. Together, they also worked on Transformers and Mission Impossible 3. And then it was also written by Jeff Pinkner, who also worked on the recent Jumanji movies and Venom. So staying in the Spider-Man universe.
Okay.
Interesting enough, none of the credited writers worked on the previous film. However, James Vanderbilt, who did work on the previous film's script, wrote a draft for a sequel before the first film was even released.
That's excessive.
Yeah, I think it was very clear. So Sony wanted to build up their own franchise and universe to compete with the MCU. And
with just Spider-Man.
Yeah, with just Spider-Man properties. Before this movie came out, they had announced 2 other Spider-Man sequels and then 2 Sinister Six spin-off movies. And they probably had more up the barrel.
That's too much.
Yeah, I mean,
that first movie wasn't that good.
Yeah, I mean, you know how they release a bunch of Spider-Man villain movies like Venom, Madam Web,
Well,
Kraven.
that was just to extend the contract.
Yeah, I mean, I assume it would be a lot like that, except they also still have Spider-Man.
That kind of actually would be an interesting movie, is just watching a villain melt down and constantly get the shit kicked out of him and then think he won and then lose in the end.
Yeah,
I'd watch it.
It would be interesting. But yeah, also interesting enough, this is to this day the only Spider-Man movie shot entirely in New York State. They had plenty of notable actors considered for the role of Harry Osborn. This includes Sam Claflin, Eddie Redmayne, and Michael B. Jordan. They would go on to cast Dane DeHaan. This movie has a lot of sequels set up pretty clearly in there. As much as this movie has going on, there was a lot of stuff they shot and originally had planned for production that got cut. They originally wrote in J. Jonah Jameson, but apparently they could not find an actor that holds a candle to J.K. Simmons' performance in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, so they decided to not have him appear in the movie. But in the film, you do see Peter exchange emails with J. Jonah Jameson, which I think kind of smart decision. You're kind of setting up an actor to get ridiculed by comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, the MCU, when they needed J. Jonah Jameson, they just brought back J.K. Simmons.
They needed to get like some sort of like woman as a newscaster who like has that kind of like similar antagonistic vibe.
Yeah, because I think if you're going to cast someone else as J. Jonah Jameson, you need to go with an actor who's going to bring something very different to the role, where it's just like, all right, we're not just trying to be J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
And then also some of the stuff that got cut. Felicity Jones, who plays Harry's assistant, she said in an interview that she filmed a lot more scenes that were cut, and apparently in the original draft, she was more of a right-hand man to Harry, and there were some scenes that held romantic implications between them. Yeah, and I think most notably, Shailene Woodley was cast as Mary Jane Watson, shot all her scenes, and then was cut entirely from the movie.
That's bizarre. They really didn't plan this thing, did they?
Yeah, it's crazy because I mean there are behind the scenes photos that they release of her, Mary Jane Watson, and Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy like talking to each other.
Was it supposed to be like a romantic triangle kind of a thing?
That's what I imagine, because supposedly her part was cut so they could focus more on Peter and Gwen's story.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. They had so much charisma together that it would be a waste to throw them into a triangle.
Yeah, I do feel like that, but it just shows poor planning to have like that entire storyline go.
Well, and they just butt fuck too much shit into this movie. It's just way too much stuff. Like, all right, I'll get into my criticisms later.
But yes, this movie was released May 2nd, 2014. I could not get a real accurate account or estimate of what the budget is. Amounts I found range from $200 to $293 million. I found a good number of sources that said it was around 250. The box office revenue was $717 million.
Oh, wow. They canceled the what?
I mean, it's a wide range of budgets. It's hard to tell, because if it's closer to 293 million, then if you go by the general number of a movie should make at least 2.5 times its budget at the box office, then yeah, it wasn't that successful.
But if it was 250, that's basically 3 times.
Yeah.
I can't believe they didn't make a third one. That makes no sense. It wasn't a money loser.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit more about that.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so, but on Rotten Tomatoes, it currently stands at 50%, and on IMDb, it currently stands as 6.6 out of 10. And as I mentioned before, Sony had announced a full cinematic universe with 2 more sequels and spin-offs, but neither Mark Webb or Andrew Garfield would publicly commit to a 4th movie. They both said they would do a 3rd. The general fan reception to this movie was not good, so that made them rethink plans. And then in 2014, there was the infamous Sony hacks.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff came out, and it derailed a lot of their plans, exposed that, it kind of was a mess. There were a lot of ideas they were just throwing out the wall. In a Variety interview years later, Drew Goddard, who's a screenwriter and was supposed to work on some of the sequels and spinoffs, he outright blamed the Sony hack on the canceled Sinister Six movies. So then in 2015, Sony made the deal with Marvel Studios to put Spider-Man in the MCU, and that's how we got the movies with Tom Holland.
North Korea killed Spider-Man 3. They need to make a Marvel movie where Spider-Man gets his revenge on North Korea, or maybe like Venom or something. I don't know.
It would be funny if in Spider-Man Brand New Day there's a scene where he's just punching someone. It's just like, where are you from? North Korea? Good, punch some more.
When Andrew Garfield got sent back to his cinematic universe, he appeared in the middle of downtown Pyongyang. He had to fight his way all the way to Seoul.
All right, now it's time for our opening statements. Chris will be defending a film, and I will be attacking.
You want me to start?
Yep.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a beautiful love story about the perseverance of love and self-redemption. It masterfully weaved together 2 Spider-Man villains into a compelling narrative. This should have been the stepping stone to a great 3rd movie.
Some younger fans may wonder why Sony lent the rights to Spider-Man back to Marvel Studios. After seeing this movie, you're just thankful it happened. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 wastes a great cast on repeating the same mistakes the studio made just 7 years prior.
Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone had so much chemistry.
Okay, yeah, I will say that.
Like spectacular.
Like their performances and chemistry are undeniable.
I honestly keep a couple of the fight scenes, get rid of the villains, and just like make it a love story about those two, and I'd watch the shit out of that.
Yeah. The thing is, I feel like it was just overstuffed with villains, which, as I mentioned, because with Spider-Man 3 and the Sam Raimi trilogy, that was very much a problem they had there, and it was very clear that like you're just shoving in villains that no one on the creative team really wanted to have, and that's what it felt like happened here. And the thing is, it doesn't feel like they really connect to their story.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that. Yeah, the villains aren't great.
Yeah, because I mean, you had Max as Electro, where he's just kind of a stereotypical loser, and
he sells that loserdom well, though.
Oh yeah,
Jamie Foxx did a good job.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's one of those things I thought during the movie. I was just like, man, you have an Oscar, and they couldn't give you better material. But it's like he has no real depth, and they just have no actual personal connection to him, and they don't build one throughout the film. Like the part where he's in the lab and he goes, "Don't you know I'm Electro?" I'm like, you have never called yourself that. Why would they know it? And then
he's like self-deluded though. That I feel like that's a representation of just how little attachment to reality he has.
Yeah, I mean, sure you could play that angle, but that still just means no character growth for him. They could have shown like some reflection on his life and how people treated him, and that fuels his rage. I think that would have made sense to me. But then also with Harry, him and Peter only have one scene together.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, like
yeah, one.
Yeah. I'm not counting the scene where Spider-Man tells him like, "No, I'm not giving you my blood." But they only have one scene together. They don't build that relationship at all, even though like they're supposed to be good friends.
You know that like technically Peter killed Emma Stone by being friends with his weird friend. Like if he had just never shown up and been there for his friend when his dad died, Emma Stone would probably be alive.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's he should have saw that coming. I don't know. That kid he was off.
Yeah, I guess the lesson is if you haven't talked to someone in a while, don't start. You see their dad dies, just send them a Facebook message. That's all they need.
Maybe check their haircut before you reintroduce yourself to their lives. He had a really intense, it was like a Norman Bates. It was like a modern Norman Bates kind of school shootery haircut.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like if Norman Bates was a school shooter.
He looks like he'd make fun of you for the length of your fingernails and how uneven they are. I don't know. There's just something, he just seems like a dick through and through.
Yeah.
Which he did a good job portraying it. Like, I bought in. I was like, oh, I hate this kid. Like, he sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was one thing I was conflicted about. Like, I'm not sure how the movie really wants you to feel about Harry, because I think for his arc to work, you do need to feel sympathetic towards him and connect with him on some level. But at the same time, it's like he's just angry all the time. He's not charismatic. He does his thing in the boardroom where it's just like, oh, you guys are upset that this 20-year-old is suddenly in charge. It's like, yeah, that's a pretty valid thing to be upset about. Like,
what? You want someone in charge of the company who knows finance and economics and payroll and has experience working in a large company?
Yeah, like, what do you mean I need a PhD to work here and my boss can't even drink?
Oh, what? You guys are a bunch of lawyers who know how to write administrative and executive, like, language?
It's like, and like, I don't think the executives are the good guys either. Like, you could just come up to me and it's like, hey, we want you to be a silent partner and just work out some sort of deal.
Yeah. Also, he brought his like personal dispute with his dad right into the boardroom, where he like walks in and he's like, "Hey guys, bet you didn't see me. I was supposed to be at boarding school, remember?" And they're like, yeah, that was your dad's decision. We're the board of an Fortune 500 company. Like, we don't really." He wasn't like, "What should I do with my son?" He just decided he didn't love you. Like, well,
Yeah, like yeah, it's just like we didn't raise you. Like we don't even know who your nanny was when you were little.
"Do you want us to be your daddy?" Like, I would have just been mocking him. You know, like, you want us to not treat you like a screaming brat, and this is how you act? Like, come on.
Yeah, and like I think it becomes clear he was supposed to be more likable when you see the actors that were considered for his role. Michael B. Jordan, Sam Claflin. Those are guys who can really seamlessly be charismatic.
Sam Claflin?
Have you seen the Hunger Games trilogy?
Yeah.
Finnick.
Finnick was the guy in the Capitol.
He was one of the former victors with the trident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I thought he was old. I thought he was like in his 40s.
I mean, this came out in 2014, and Andrew Garfield was almost 30 when he was cast as Spider-Man.
Good point. All right, good point. Sorry to take us off track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think they did want a more charismatic role or character that they just didn't really get. They got trust fund baby in way over his head.
Yeah, which you know, I feel like in a perfect version of this movie, maybe you build up to that, and like that part of him comes out throughout the film, but it feels like they just started there and stayed there the whole time.
He also progresses so fast. Like, the dad was 85 and dying of the disease, and the dad was like, "It started at 18." And then 3 months into him running this company, and he's like getting Green Goblin.
Yeah, because also the dad gave him something that was just like, okay, this is everything I learned and how I was able to live for so long. And it's like, did Harry just inherit the super version of this disease?
Yeah. One that, just to get off topic, the technology they had in this movie was really cool. Like the lab that comes from the train car rising up, and the little thing that sets off the desk computer.
Yeah, I will say, like, it does a good job of being innovative with technology, but also still being accessible. Like, I didn't feel like, oh, this is technology so far in the future that like we'll never see some version of this. But also it does make Oscorp feel advanced for the modern age.
Yeah, you know what I was stuck on? I was like, how did Peter's dad build the weird trap door subway rides lab elevator? Like, that required a lot of heavy machinery.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's just like, oh, you definitely build this construction to Oscorp, and then Oscorp never checked it out again.
Yeah, the fighting was good. I like this, how they do I like the Spider-Man fights.
Yeah, I will say, I think this series does a really good job of having fight choreography and scenes that feel really specific to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because like the Sam Raimi trilogy, it's like they had good fight scenes, but there are also times like the fights felt like a lot of stunt work. And with the MCU version, there were times where really, because they gave Peter a more advanced suit, it felt like Iron Man light. But I think this feels like the right notes for Spider-Man, because also there are cool concepts in the fight scene, like during the first battle with Electro, when like one of his shooters is burnt out and he has to like stop people from grabbing the rail. It's like he basically pushes out like a web whip and uses that while pulling someone from the other side. and then the final battle with Electro, using the power grid to play like Itsy Bitsy Spider, fucking fantastic.
What do you mean to play Itsy Bitsy Spider?
Like, you know, when Electro was going from like tower to tower, it was playing notes. It was playing Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, fuck. Now I have to go back and rewatch it. Shit, that is a really nice note.
Yeah.
You should have pointed that shit out, Belton.
I'm pretty sure we were watching with subtitles. I'm pretty sure his subtitles said playing Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Oh. Yeah, I think that fight scene was good enough that I was kind of enraptured.
Yeah.
And that was a really good fight scene.
I'm also going to point out Aunt May was kind of useless. Like, I think the fact we've gone through the plot and already had a good amount of discussion, and neither one of us felt the need to bring her up at all.
Yeah. She's not a big part. She has like a couple little pushes where she'll be like, where's that Spider-Man? And it's too bad about him.
Yeah, because I mentioned this when we were watching, but I remember seeing this movie in theaters, and the part where she's going on about how like your dad left and it sucks that you're searching for him. I remember being in the theater and saying out loud, wow, Aunt May's a dick.
They did kind of turn Aunt May into a dick.
Yeah, which is something you should not feel watching a Spider-Man villain, watching a Spider-Man movie.
It was a little more like grounded. Like that's probably a bit more realistic of a reaction to have when your kid's searching for his dad, who's also your brother that got murdered.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there is a valid reaction to be like upset or have like negative feelings towards that. I just feel the way it came across made it sound like, oh, she just didn't want him looking up. Where I feel like there are like a lot of feelings she could have that they don't really explore.
Yeah, I could see that. Did Uncle Ben die in the first movie?
Yes.
Was it Peter's fault?
Yes.
Was it the same like boxing match?
Not boxing, but still like he could have stopped the robber, and then that robber killed Uncle Ben. Did
he just decide not to?
Yeah.
He was just being lazy.
Well, it's a thing where it's just like he had like some argument with the clerk at the store, and he's like, "Oh, that's not my problem."
Was he as Spider-Man?
No, as Peter Parker. Well, he still could have stopped him. You know, they have to do that to be like, oh, great power comes great responsibility. At this point, Uncle Ben dying is something that never needs to be put to screen again. At least for a few decades.
I feel like that's such a fucked up thing to put onto a grieving child, where it's just like, no, there is no great power. You can just be powerful and decide to live a normal life. That's absurd. Like, you can be Spider-Man and just decide to be a lawyer. It's not your responsibility to save the world. That is such a dangerous thing to say to a child.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's the thing. When it's said to Peter, it's not really in that in context, because really no one else knows Peter could have stopped the guy. It's just him. It's just something he puts on himself.
Yeah. Well, in the Raimi movies, doesn't Uncle Ben say, with great power comes great responsibility?
Yeah, but he's talking to Peter as more of a father figure in like general, like, hey, you need to handle your life thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's not saying this as just like, hey, you see that robber? You could have stopped him.
Car accidents are your fault, Peter.
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel like if most people, if they suddenly got superpowers, they just live a normal life, but with superpowers. Because I know me personally, I never wish I have superpowers unless I have a minor inconvenience. Like when I barely miss the subway train, that's when I'm like, oh, I wish I had super speed right now.
Yeah, my immediate thing on superpowers, like, if you're not going with teleportation, you're lying.
Yeah.
You're just like full. Oh, you want to fly? Well, all right. Well, I'm already in Tokyo. Like,
yeah,
this is
like
pretty fucking simple.
Yeah, like the thing is, like, I'll be watching TV. I realize the remote's far away. I have to get up to it. It's like, oh man, I could really use some telekinesis right now.
Yeah, like yeah, I have those thoughts every once in a while. If you say invisibility, chances are you're a creep. That's the One Piece rule. In One Piece, there's one Sanji really wants to eat the invisible fruit. And he keeps being like, I could do locker rooms, women's showers. I want to go in women's showers.
Yeah, because the only other valid thing you could say is just like, oh, I just want to rob places and get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. You could go to concerts for free.
Oh, yeah, that's also true.
That'd be kind of nice. You could go to like every Super Bowl, but you could do that with teleportation too.
Yeah, true.
I also don't want to go to a Super Bowl. I think live football games aren't great.
Yeah. I've also heard the Super Bowl in particular is not fun if you're an actual fan.
Yeah. All right, you want to get to three things? We got way off track.
Yeah. All right. Well, now it's time for our concessions. This is where I give 3 things I like about the film, and Chris gives 3 things she doesn't.
You want to start?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, the action scenes were really fun and well done and creative.
Yeah, they are very good. Like the scene where he's balancing all the plutonium as he's going along the truck.
Yeah.
It's killer. There's too much shit in this movie. It's too long. There's too much shit. There's a great hour and 45-minute long movie, maybe 2 hours. The fact that that extra 25 minutes, it killed it.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those things where we're watching this movie and then finding out they have more stuff they wanted to put in there. It feels baffling.
You're like, what were you going to make it? Like a day long? Just a full 24 hours at the movie theater?
Yeah. I mean, I will say that this is why I brought up like studio stuff earlier. It does feel like, especially considering there was so much sequel set up in here with like Sinister Six stuff, that the studio just gave them a long list of stuff that has to be in a movie. And they're like, there's no way we can actually just fit this into the same story, but they have to try anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My next concession, again, as mentioned before, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone are great as Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, respectively. And it's something where it's like their chemistry really carried a lot of it. And it made Gwen Stacy's death really hit. Like as much as we say the movie's a mess, her death at the end just like held an emotional impact that I feel was also bold of them to take.
Yeah. In a similar vein, it was cruel to kill Emma Stone when they had that much chemistry. I didn't want her to die because I wanted to watch another movie with them in there. I could have watched a movie that is set 10 years in the future where they're getting married. I already said this at the beginning of the episode. I just want more Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone together. They're so good together.
Yeah, I feel like if there was a sequel after this, that would be a bigger flaw. But because it never happened, we were like, all right, we're like, we can talk about hypotheticals all day, but in this reality, their arc ended.
I would have been like, more flashbacks of Emma Stone. Can we get like, didn't you know her in like, I don't know, 11th grade? Can we get more stories? I just want, it was fucked up to kill her.
Yeah. I mean, also we're probably not going to see the two of them on screen together again because they broke up in real life.
I'll back you up. It was powerful. It made it was a good part of the movie. But like personally, fuck them. Fuck Mark Webb.
My last session around that, I thought like the arc they did around how Spider-Man brings hope to people, that was kind of well put together. They managed to string together with just like a few moments in the movie, but it felt complete.
Yeah. It kind of set up that last scene where the kid's standing in front of the Rhino.
Yeah.
Do you think the Rhino would have killed that kid? That's what I was like, yo, is he about to kill that kid? I don't think he would have. I don't know if he would have killed the kid.
I think he would have done the thing where he just like shoots at the feet and gets closer and closer, hoping someone else like takes him out, but to intimidate. But at a certain point, he's got to be like, really, no one's getting this kid out here.
Yeah, he should have been like, what kind of parents do you have?
Yeah, it's like you're growing up in New York. You should have more survival instinct.
I didn't care about Peter's parents. I think that this movie was too long and they could have just cut that part out of it.
Yeah.
Cut Harry Osborn, have it be about Oscorp, Electro, Gwen Stacy, and Peter.
Oh, see, between the two villains, I think I would cut Electro and just make more connections between Harry and Peter.
I think that would have been a more interesting third movie. Just because Green Goblin's so like big.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, like, I think with Green Goblin, they didn't want to do it with Norman Osborn, even though like that's the classic storyline, just because Willem Dafoe did such a good job.
Well, I mean, he literally started doing a Willem Dafoe impression when he was being Green Goblin. I'm not joking. I was like, oh, that's Willem Dafoe. Like he's doing Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. No, because I remember like watching the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie as an adult. There's a scene where like Willem Dafoe is talking to himself in the mirror as like Norman Osborn to the Green Goblin, and just cuts back and forth. And I was just like, oh my God, this scene is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's really good. All right, closing statement time.
Time for our closing statements. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is at its best when building on the chemistry of Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Too bad it's bogged down in underdeveloped characters and storylines. I give it one New York power outage.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is an odyssey of love, heartbreak, and grief. While it may be a little too overloaded with stuff, it's not missing any connection or character moments. Its action is great and it has heart. I give it 1 million out of 1 million volts delivered directly by electric eels.
Oh, you know who they should get to play J. Jonah Jameson? Whoever writes those New York Post headlines about Mamdani.
Yeah.
Like that is straight J. Jonah Jameson energy.
Well, isn't the Daily, what's the name of the Daily Bugle?
Yeah.
Isn't that just a New York Post?
I'm not sure if it was supposed to be the New York Post, but right now, like seeing those headlines, it definitely feels like, oh, this is what people in MCU New York must feel when seeing Daily Bugle headlines about Spider-Man. Like, honestly, if I was getting those headlines about me, I'd start messing with them and just see how far they would take it. I'd start saying the most mundane opinions, but in a gradually aggressive way. Just start tweeting out, best flavor of pie, apple, hashtag truth and you know it. And see the headline the next day. It's just like, oh, apparently if you're a fan of pumpkin pie, you don't have a place in New York.
What if instead of J. Jonah Jameson, they just had Tucker Carlson talking about Spider-Man? I think it would have been actually pretty great. Like, we just have men flying through skyscrapers in red suits with webs. Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah.
Is that what we are, America?
Get Skip Bayless on the mic talking about, Spider-Man's recent battle with the Scorpion. I give it a C-.
That would have been great.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been another episode of Film versus Movie. I'm Belton DeLaine-Facey.
And my name's Chris Shurr.
And if you like this, be sure to follow us wherever you listen and rate us 5 stars. And we will see you next time.